All right, today we're jumping into a really different way of thinking about male vitality. This isn't about the quick fix pills you always hear about. Nope, this is all about building a solid foundation. So let's dive right in. So, the source material kicks things off with a question that's, pretty direct. But here's the thing, it's not just about what's happening in the bedroom. The idea here is that this can actually be a signal, kind of like a check engine light for a man's overall health. And this is exactly what I mean. See, according to the source, that one symptom rarely just shows up by itself. It's usually part of a bigger picture. Maybe you're dealing with lower energy, not sleeping as well, got some mental fog, or just that general feeling that you've lost your edge. So it's being presented as a sign of something much wider going on. And that idea brings us straight to the core philosophy of this whole approach. It's really all about shifting your perspective, moving away from just looking for a quick fix. So you've got these two totally different ways of thinking, right? On one side, you have the temporary boosts. These are the quick patches, the stimulants that just chase a short-term effect. But on the other side, you've got what the source calls foundational support, an idea that comes from traditional Chinese medicine. The goal here isn't some fast jolt. It's a much steadier, more gradual process of rebuilding your body's balance from the ground up. Okay, so that's the theory. But how does this philosophy actually get put into practice? Well, the source material lays out a very specific routine, using something called the Emperor's Power Pouch. And the first thing that really jumps out is that this method is 100% external. The source makes a huge point of this. You don't swallow anything. No pills, it's designed for someone who wants a completely different option. So what is this thing? Emperor's Power is described as an external pouch filled with herbs. The idea is you wear it right over your navel, and it's held there with a soft belt, so it just becomes a simple part of your daily routine. And the routine itself is really straightforward. It's a 30-day cycle. You just place the pouch over your navel, you use the belt to secure it under your clothes, and then you just wear it day and night. The only time you take it off is to shower, and then you just pop on a new pouch every 3 days. Simple as that. Now, the source does get into some early observations. But I've got to stress the word preliminary here. Even the material itself is super cautious about how it presents this next bit of information. And here's why everyone's being so cautious. The case reports we're talking about, they involve a grand total of 2 men. That's it. So this is a very small-scale observation, definitely not a big clinical study, and the source is totally upfront about that. So within this small 2-person report, these were the improvements that they self-reported. They mentioned things like restored morning erections, better energy during the day, sleeping more soundly, and even noticing better digestion. But again, this is all based on the personal experience of just those 2 individuals. And just to make absolutely sure there's no confusion, the source includes this direct quote, which is so important. These are early self-reported observations, not a large clinical trial. This disclaimer is key. It really puts a frame around these findings and sets very clear expectations. So let's pull all these pieces together. What's the core takeaway here? What's the one big idea that this is all built on? It really all comes down to this. Support your foundation first. The whole idea is that if you strengthen that base, your overall vitality will naturally improve from there. This isn't positioned as a stimulant or some kind of quick patch. Instead, it's presented as a steadier, external routine that's all about that foundational support. And that really brings us to the final thought from all this. Putting any specific product or method aside for a second, it leaves us with a much bigger question to think about. What could focusing on foundational support, instead of just chasing another temporary boost, actually mean for your own health and vitality? It's definitely some food for thought.